Welcome to the podcast, Margaret. I am so excited to have you on.
I'm so excited to be here, Michelle. Thank you for inviting me on.
Of course. So Margaret is really somebody who I absolutely love and have the pleasure to work with as one of my certification coaches, certified the Wholesome Fertility Coach. And she's just one of the most nurturing, sweet souls that I had the pleasure to meet. And I would love for you, Margaret, to share your story and how you got into fertility coaching.
Thank you, Michelle, and thank you for that warm introduction. Well, my fertility journey is quite a long standing one. I started to try and conceive at 25, and like everyone else, thought it's going to happen straight away. And it actually did. I fell pregnant straight away, but I miscarried. And then people were saying, oh, it's normal, to miscarry. But I felt really a lot of pain during that time, like anyone else with a loss. However, then I tried to conceive again after a couple of months and I couldn't conceive. And you know how you wait a year, you go to the doctors, they say wait a year. So I waited a year and still nothing happened. So then I went to explore what was happening. And that's when I eventually got diagnosed with PCOS. But that also led to the gynecologist giving me medication that led to me getting a growth where I had to have it removed, and it was a
Mhm.
huge growth. So
Was it a
basically,
fibroid?
it was just a cyst.
A cyst, okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember
Um,
what medication was? Maybe Clomid?
it was climate.
Okay.
But later on, then at that stage, I was already depleted, but I decided to go and get a second opinion. Sometimes you have to follow your gut. And I went to get a second opinion. And the first thing that the other gynecologist said to me was, have you had your husband checked as well? Oh, my husband was with us. Have you been checked? And we said no, being sort of ignorant to the fact that obviously both parties should be checked. And then when my husband got checked, he had issues as well. So that was, then discovered.
Mhm.
So basically, by that stage, so, it was years that had gone by because I was on Clomid for quite a long time trying to conceive because the doctor said, I don't know why you're not falling pregnant because you should be,
Mhm.
because he didn't see any other issues. And I reached a stage where I basically was burnt out.
Mhm.
I felt totally destroyed by many other factors, like I was trying to emotionally deal with not falling pregnant because I wanted to be a mother more than anything,
Mhm.
like most of us have, and then obsessed over the fact that I wanted to fall pregnant. And of course, there's all those issues of everyone around you falling pregnant and
Mhm.
you can't conceive. And so you get into a deep depression as well. So basically, by this stage, also, my husband was trying to deal with what was happening. I was trying to deal with what was happening. And our relationship was having a breakdown as well because I couldn't communicate with him. He wasn't communicating with me. He felt he was supporting me because not to bring it up. And I wasn't talking about it because I thought by that stage I was to blame. I was the person that caused this, all those feelings of disillusionment and, feeling just totally down.
Yeah.
And that's when um, I met someone. His name was Valentino. He was a drug and alcohol counselor, and he straight away identified that I was in that stage of burnout and said, he sort of started to guide me and say to me, you need to take a day at a time. You need to really acknowledge your feelings. And so he guided me with all this emotional
Support.
support. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word.
Really quick,
Yeah.
just so people know, like she didn't go in there for drug and alcohol for herself. Just so people hear, because drug
Yes,
and alcohol,
yes,
yeah, she
no.
went for
No,
somebody
we
else
just
and then
yes. Yeah,
realized that she
yeah,
needed a little bit more
yeah.
nurturing.
Yes, I went to get some information for a friend, and then I found out when I was there, he sort of picked up that I was at a level that I shouldn't be, and he just started talking to
Yeah.
me, just giving me some really good tips on how to rebuild myself. And then I
He was
realized
like a guardian
I
angel.
can't do this anymore. So that was really good, because that stopped me continuing on this roller coaster of trying to fall pregnant and not
Yeah.
realizing that my nervous system was totally shambles and
Yeah.
I was totally burnt out, and I couldn't fall pregnant even if I tried, because basically I had to even give up work at the time because I was feeling physically, mentally not well.
Yeah.
So basically it was like total burnout. That's what
Yeah. I
happened.
mean, sometimes too, when you're in that, I really, I think that it's just so telling that this whole story of how you met your guide, really, and
Yes,
because I feel like when you're in that kind of deep, deep, dark place, you're the last person to recognize it on yourself. You think that everybody else needs help, and you went actually to get help for somebody else, not even for
yes,
yourself. And it's interesting how Valentino, was it?
yes, that's correct. That was
Valentino
his name.
recognized it in you, and you didn't even recognize what you needed at the time for yourself.
No, no,
And so
no.
this is kind of, I think, the key thing that you're saying that I feel like is so important is that when people get to that place, because the mindset aspect of it is invisible, it's abstract, it's, I always say it's like the sneaky little thing that nobody even realizes impacts your nervous
Mm,
system,
mm,
impacts you on every level. And it's sneaky because you're already in that mindset, therefore it's very hard to recognize yourself or to
definitely,
see yourself and
definitely,
see, yeah.
definitely. And I was in, survival mode. I just was like a robot. I would
Mm,
just do the daily things every day, but I I was all also about the guilt, all the
yeah,
feelings that
the
women
shame, the
get,
guilt,
the
yeah.
shame, the guilt. So I think that, like, him coming into my life at that time was perfect, because I don't
Yeah.
know what would have happened if he hadn't. And he slowly made me realize that I needed to stop this, roller coaster of trying
Yeah.
to fall pregnant and just work on myself. Like, work on myself to reset myself, but to
Yeah.
also rediscover the person I had lost, because I had totally lost Margaret. I was a shell of a
Yeah.
person that I was when I started trying to fall pregnant. I couldn't even, I don't think I would even recognize myself, because I was totally a different person. But on the outside, I showed everyone I was fine,
Yeah.
but on the inside, I was totally destroyed. Yeah. So
That's
I
sad.
think,
It's sad to hear because you go
yeah,
through life and you're not fully living. You're like
yes.
walking around, pretending everything's fine, but you're not really truly living.
And that's why I feel that if people can tell their stories, then other people can understand that they're not they're it's basically what they're going through is normal, But at
Yes.
the same time, if they continue on that path, it's not going to help them fall pregnant. Because then when I did do my, whole holistic, like I worked on my mind, my heart, everything,
Mm-hmm.
and my body, and went into IVF, then decided to try IVF at the age of 39, I fell pregnant with my first go. So, and
Yeah,
I really
amazing.
truly believe that was because I stopped and really healed,
Yeah.
because a lot of women just go from, having, because I had even more than one miscarriage, but they keep going until they keep going because they feel they've lost time. But
Yeah.
the time that you spend healing and rebuilding your mind, your body, and your soul,
Yeah.
then you will be able to fall pregnant because you have healed. But if you don't do that, then obviously we know from research that stress plays a big part in
Mm-hmm.
also not allowing your body to receive a new life. And to be honest, if I had received a new life, the depleted Margaret, how could I be a good mother as well?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was so depleted. How could I give what I needed to give to my child? Whereas having had that time,
Mm-hmm.
I've enjoyed my motherhood and been able to give my son everything he deserves.
Yeah, and you really touch upon like I love the fact that not love because it's not necessarily
No,
a good
no,
thing, but I think the word it just is so suiting that you use as burnout, like because I
yes.
think that that is really what a lot of people I see, I see every day at work. They're literally coming to me burnt out, and they just and I remember one specific patient of mine saying, I'm not coming here for myself, I'm coming here for the baby. And then I immediately recognized, wow, we really need to turn this around. And I had to talk to her about
Mm,
that. And there was a point where she really took a break from everything, rebuilt herself, kind of like how you figured that out. And I feel like, how they say there's steps and stages to things like grief, there's stages to a lot of
mm,
different things in life.
mm,
And I feel like there's also fertility stages where you go through that and then you go through trying to do everything that you can possibly do to make it work, and then you find yourself burnt out and drained, and then somehow naturally people start to realize, okay, well, how long can I sustain this, how long can I go
mm,
through this in the
mm,
direction that I'm going without having any self-care in this
mm.
process, and then finally realizing, wow, I really do need to like nurture myself back to healing, because I think eventually you do realize that I think it's just
Of course.
unsustainable otherwise.
Yes, exactly. But the reason I also like really wanted to become a coach and to make the changes and to give my voice and to also let other people understand that, they're not alone, people
Yeah.
understand, and there is a way to, you know, go through this process feeling calm and confident and know that you have, yourself fully, in tune with your body, your soul, your mind, your heart,
Yeah.
was because I realized there was such a gap.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to get my voice out there too, because, going through fertility is not just medical, it's
Mhm.
emotional. And
Yeah.
there's not enough support in the emotional part.
You're right.
And I'm really passionate about that because even people that I speak to that are, embryologists, they even realize there's a gap and they know
Yeah.
there's that gap. But the medical doctors and everything do a great job. But
Yeah.
there's this massive gap. And we need to also educate others about, people that are going through fertility to understand it's been linked to like going through a divorce or a death.
Hmm.
So, I
And even
mean, we're talking,
cancer
yeah, and
diagnosis.
cancer, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we need to put that in, the same care as other
Mhm.
things that we put in the care, and that's my mission, is to get that message out there that we really need to support people that are going through fertility with emotional support. That's so important. It's not
Yeah.
just medical, it's emotional as well.
It really is. And you have a very, you just have a knack for you. You're very nurturing by nature, and
Thank
you
you, Michelle.
have that ability. And I think that that's not something that you can really teach anybody. I think that's something that people have innately, is having that compassion, having that understanding. And I think that that is something that is very much needed, is people just want to be heard. They want to be seen. They want to be validated.
Definitely.
They want to feel like they can really rely on somebody that understands them. It's very hard because a lot of times in the communities, they don't feel understood because they see, just like you said, people around them getting pregnant. So people don't really fully understand what they're going through. And many times they're going through it in secret and
Yes,
don't really feel
yes.
comfortable telling people what's going
No.
on. So it could be very isolating time in a person's life. And so going back actually to your journey, I'd love to hear, what was it specifically, or what were some of the things that you did that you really felt brought you back to life, or brought you back to a place of grounding?
Yes. So basically, I did a lot of reading and discovered the importance of the mind and your mindset, and how you have to change your deep feelings to understand yourself. So, like resetting yourself as well, and understanding yourself and going back. I found, to me, like, it doesn't mean everyone's got different ways, but I started journaling, and that was a real, it gave me a lot of peace, like journaling, being able to
Yeah.
journal my feelings and just putting everything down, even if it's, because I mean, if things are happening, like it could even be a best friend that said something to you that's really upset you, or your family as well, because it's cultural as well. Like some
Hmm.
families just are pushing, you know, telling you things like relax, and things that are not working for you. So journaling was really good. I also found that things like, obviously, talking to Valentino that understood. So sometimes you need someone that knows the space. Even though he wasn't in the fertility space, he understood how to help people going through trauma or
Hmm.
going through something. So being able to speak to someone, and he taught me that you express your feelings, you say what you feel, you don't leave it inside your body. You actually are able to talk about it. So that was good, like being able to express your feelings openly.
Yeah.
And breath work as well, because the breathing really helps as well. So those things really started to help, but also the knowledge of, the mindset was, like, I read a lot of Louise Hayes and Dr.
Hmm.
Wayne Dwyer. I just really related to it, and it was like they were speaking to me, like
Yeah.
they understood me finally, 'cause even though I had a lot of love and support around me, I couldn't make the connections. I
Hmm.
couldn't get that support. I felt totally alone. Like, I
Yeah.
did feel alone. So being able to not feel that feeling alone
Hmm.
is a big thing to releasing. So being able to release all those fears, release all those negative energies, and turn them into something positive. The other thing that I think really helped was the gratitude,
Yes.
like being able
There
to
is science behind it,
yeah,
actually.
write down what I'm grateful for, And also turning around, not just seeing my life as just having a baby, but seeing my life as who I am, my
Mhm.
values, what I valued, and
Yeah.
being able to put that back into my life. Because you get so obsessed with trying to have a baby that you don't worry about anything about yourself.
Yep.
So you actually lose yourself. So being able to then put back, what
Yeah.
is the things that light me up? What are the things that make me happy? And then start to implement those things little by little. It's not big changes, it was just slow,
Yeah.
progressive changes. And then I started to shift. I
Yep.
started to shift my mindset, my ideas, my thoughts. It didn't mean I didn't want a baby, and it didn't mean I wouldn't have a baby. It just meant that I needed to be who I'm supposed to be
Mhm.
to bring that baby in. So that's basically the major shift with the kind of, and like I said, step by step. And Valentine, you say one day at a time. And I
Yeah.
like that,
It's
one
true.
day at a time. Just do a little shift every day. So even if it was like I was getting down and probably eating the wrong foods, even if it wasn't just changing my whole diet, it might have been just implementing one thing every day to change my food, to make me feel better, to give me more energy, because I didn't have energy as well. So
Yeah.
those kind of things. So I think it's very personalized. So I think everyone has to find their core reasons as well, their core
Mhm.
values, and then build from that.
Mhm.
So you're basically awakening everything that has died. I know that
Yeah.
sounds really, but you're actually seeing like your identity. Who are you and what are you wanting out of your life, and focusing then back to yourself. So filling your cup
Mhm.
because it's empty. So it's basically
100%.
filling your cup. And then loving and nourishing yourself by doing like the breath work, the journaling, the emotional release, whatever ways that helps. Like I found walking, that was for me. I found walking, the sunlight, and I used to love going to the beach and just listening to the waves. Just those little things, just personalizing it for you to put joy back into your life. Yeah, that kind of thing. And also giving yourself time for compassion. Like, why am I treating myself this way? And a lot of rest. And then when those things happened that I was doing slowly, I could rest because I was always awake and why aren't I falling pregnant and all those, and self-sabotaging yourself all the time, and then changing your words was another one. So instead of, like reframing, so instead of saying, I'm useless, I'm hopeless, you know, changing those words that you say to yourself that destroys you as a person, basically. Yeah, I think those things were the main things initially that I started doing. And as I grew in more understanding, it was like a wheel that turned, and I just added more and more, and I built myself up to the level that I felt good again, and I had joy in my life, and I could, contribute to life. Whereas before it was just surviving life. That was the survival mode that I was
So
in.
interesting how you say that because I always talk about it. I mean, really, like how our nervous system functions.
Oh, definitely.
It's kind of like it teeters between survival or, look, the sympathetic, which is considered the fight or flight. It's not always just fight or flight. It could be very alert. And it's part of what we need. It's a
Right.
very necessary aspect of ourselves. It's what gets stimulated when you're driving, when you're up, when you're focused. It's a hyper focus. But the big thing is that it needs to shift from that to the rest and digest, the parasympathetic.
Mm.
It almost sounds like kind of like we're putting a judgment on it, like a fight or flight, but it could be sympathetic. It could be also very focused if it's done correctly, if it's done in a way that's balanced. And then the rest and digest is us being able to let go and kind of move away from this hyper focus of whatever is in front of us and allow us to get into a state where we're able to digest, and it's more of a growth aspect. And what you were saying really reflects that it's where we can create. The body becomes more creative, more easy, more flowy, more
Mm.
imaginative. We go into the kind of like more space, and we allow ourselves to, in a sense, kind of float, and be held. And so there's that doing versus receiving aspect of ourselves. And like I said, there's not like one is bad, one is good. We tend to shift from one or the other. However, when we get too set on one or too much in one state, and most of us, when we're going through very stressful times in our lives, can find ourselves in a survival mode. And when we're in this constant perpetual survival mode, it will deplete, it will zap your energy. And as we know, egg cells, sperm cells, mitochondria is really important. The mitochondria is
Mm.
really the powerhouse of the cells. And the reason why egg cells, for example, have so much mitochondria compared, hundreds of thousands more compared to regular cells in the body, there's a reason. Nature doesn't make mistakes. It doesn't just randomly do things. It does it so that it sets it up for the energy it takes to create new life. And if your
Mm.
energy is being zapped from all over the place, how in the world is it going to be able to create new life? And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know if you're zapped. You could feel it. Your body's so
Mm.
intelligent, it speaks to you all the time. You feel drained because your body just wants you to sleep. Your body wants you to rest so that it can recharge. And that's it's like our phone battery. It's the same thing. I mean, we see it. Like, it just doesn't function optimally if it's on a low percentage.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And if you're not calm, like how can you, receive the, the new life that you want in your body? So it's all about like being able to shift it from, that
Yeah. The
feeling of
restoration.
where the restoration part and being able to receive. Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree in what you're
And I
saying.
think that what you said was really important. You said one day at a time. It's less overwhelming that way. And I think that that's the key thing. I feel
Mm.
like a lot of people go through, they almost feel pressured to relax.
Mm.
That's like an extra pressure that people feel like, oh my God, now I have to figure out a way to relax. And I have to, so
Exactly.
it's kind of all these extra pressures that people feel, even something, it's like counterproductive because it's kind of like, how can I relax if I feel pressured to relax? It's just all of these. And then, there's the judgment, oh, you could just relax and you're going to be fine.
Oh,
And
yes.
the
We
judgment,
all
the
know that
feeling
one.
misunderstood, and it's
Mm.
true. People say it a lot. It just
Yeah.
it doesn't get it just keeps happening. So those are the things that people feel like, well, how do I do that? And I think that you saying that and kind of naming that, like, one day at a time, feels
Mm.
so much less overwhelming than to think about all of it at once.
Yes, exactly. And, the thing that we're trying to change is that women shouldn't have to carry this emotional load alone. They should be able to get support so that they can do one day at a time, that
Yeah.
that fertility is a whole person journey. It's the body, the mind, the heart, the nervous system, all of that. And when women understand how they can, provide the care needed for your body, your mind, your heart, and your nervous system, they're naturally going to feel calmer. They're
Yeah.
naturally going to be able to deal with things that happen in a different
Right.
way than they would have if they didn't have those tools and strategies.
Yeah.
It's about having those tools and strategies, in your toolkit that you
Yep.
can just pop out when you need. And it's just like even the breath, like just doing that simple breath
Yeah,
can just calm you. Like
it's true. It's
it's
it's an immediate hack.
amazing.
It's the best
It's
brain
just,
hack ever.
yes,
That is your light switch
yes,
to shift your nervous system right
yes,
then and there is your breath.
yes. And just having those in, being able to use them when needed. And
Hmm.
different people will use different tools
Hmm.
because we're all individual. And, some people might like to visualize or meditate, which are also great tools. But obviously, each person will find the tools that will really help them through this journey.
What would it have meant to you to find a fertility coach on your journey?
Oh my goodness.
Looking back,
Would have
because back
just
then I don't know if it's more of a
no, they
recent thing.
didn't. They didn't have. I was just blessed that I met Valentino because
Yeah.
he had tools and strategies that he gave me. But I must admit, even though I went through the process, and of course it took me so long before I, restored myself. I think if I had a fertility coach, it wouldn't have taken me 4 or 5 years to do that. I think I would have been able to do that um, quicker, but also being able to have someone that totally knew, could see me and understand me, knew my
Yeah.
language, was had been through it or
Yeah.
understood, the processes and everything. And I also think by having that fertility coach, like I know that I would have been able to go, like I said, go through the process a lot quicker. And that's
Hmm.
why I wanted to become a fertility coach and left education to do that because I knew that you can have these tools and strategies and really it can change your life. It
Hmm.
changed mine. It changed mine. And I'm so grateful that I had met Valentino, but I know now that if I was going through fertility issues,
Hmm.
that would be the first thing I would get is a fertility coach to help me, guide me and give me these tools to get through the journey in a peaceful and calm way,
Yeah.
you know, because everyone's journey is different.
Hmm.
It doesn't mean that you have to go through it bump by bump by bump by bump. You
Yeah.
can like go through it smoothly.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's true.
So,
It is true, and everybody's different. Every journey is different, um, completely. And everybody has, even though there's similar things that people can relate to, there it's such an individual path. It's an individual way of seeing things, individual perspective. 100%.
and I also feel that like I didn't realize the holistic part of it. So thank you for
Mhm.
doing your course, Michelle, because that was just fabulous. It just spoke to me because of my journey. And when I was doing your course, I'm going, oh my goodness, this is exactly what I need. This is exactly what's going to be able to help me to help others. It was just really aligned to my beliefs.
Yeah.
And my beliefs came from going through that journey.
Hmm.
So, I would vouch for it 100%. And also really knowing that the holistic part is about looking after your whole self, not
Hmm.
just thinking, oh, I just have to, um, do this part. It's about really deep work, like it's your
Yes,
mind, your body,
100%.
your heart, and just learning more things about how everything is connected.
Hmm. Everything's
Everything.
connected, and this is why Chinese medicine really looks at the
Mm,
person as a whole. They don't look at parts or just
no,
symptoms, or it's really mind, body, spirit. uh, it's
definitely.
all of it's important. Nothing is not important. So it's even if you're very spiritual, but you're eating junk food, or if you're eating
Yes.
really perfectly healthy, but you're really hard on yourself. So it's kind of like
Yes.
addressing all of those different aspects. And
Yes.
believe it or not, I have a lot of people doing the course that are actively on their fertility journey, helping themselves and others at the same time, which is pretty
Fantastic.
amazing, really
Yes,
amazing that
that's
they're, you know,
amazing.
to do
Yeah,
that
and
when you're
that's
going through it yourself.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll agree because your course covers, the holistic side of it. And some courses just look at fertility in general, medical, but again, that's not what I was I was
Yeah.
looking at,
Yeah.
the
The
holistic,
whole,
because I know how
yeah.
important it is not just, to know what medication to take, or if you got PCOS, you should be doing this, each
Yeah.
each condition, it has got different, it's yes, it's knowledge is really important, of course, because it changes what you do and how you're going to feel, but it's not just that. So
Yes, and it's
I
also
totally agree with
it's you, Margaret, as your individual, because how you are taking it, how you're translating it, and how you're passionate about it, because that's something that a person can't really be taught. It's that passion that comes through you, that wants to help others, that to help them on things that you've been through, to alleviate some of the difficulties and some of the extra weight they're carrying, so that is 100% you.
you.
And
Oh,
I want
thank
to say
you.
that because that is something that you have. And what I love about like the time that I've had working with you, and you're just a really genuinely such great hearted person. You don't meet a lot of people like that are genuinely like wanting to help people, like really, really authentically.
Well, thank you, Michelle. That means a lot to me. Um, I, I mean, if I can even change one person's pathway and make it smoother and calmer,
Yeah.
it definitely is, what I, would like to do is to help other people, because I really feel that if, I've got a motto is embrace the journey,
Hmm.
embrace it, transform with purpose. And the purpose part is that you're using the tools and strategies and empower your future by doing that. Because I feel that, um, going through what I went through,
Hmm.
that's basically that pathway was what I felt at the end. I transformed, and I felt like that it did empower my future, for the positive, ways, you know. And that's why I want to, you know, and that's why I worked on really coming up with a program that could do that, like holistically.
Hmm. Talk about the
Yeah.
fertility godmother, how you
Yeah.
stepped into that
So,
role.
obviously, I don't want people to spend 5 years trying, and that's not necessary anymore because we do have the tools and strategies. So I've, done a holistic program that, aligns your mind, body, and heart and soul. And it's basically, the purpose of it is to give you emotional steadiness for you, and body trust and inner safety.
Mhm.
So whether you're, feeling that it's good if someone's got to go through treatment like IVF to do this beforehand, or if someone feels that really you know, they're feeling, um, a little burnt out, or feeling that they're going down that rabbit hole. So what I do there is, I do 2 weeks where we awaken. So we listen to the story, we look at the values, we look at the person's identity. We also do the cycle awareness so that they're
Mhm.
understanding their bodies more. So they're really awakening to their emotional patterns, any burnout signals they might have. So basically, it's really important for people to be aware about what's happening to their bodies and their minds. So that's the first 2 weeks. And then the next 2 weeks is love and nourish. So what we do is we do breath work, we do journaling, we look at other strategies that they might put into place slowly into their routines to help them steady their. We look at rest, compassion, and we also look at nervous system rituals, so to help them with
Love
the
that.
nervous system, which is really important. Then week 5, we do mindset, because mindset changing the mindset is really important. We do belief work, and we also do visualizations if they're, or obviously the program is structured to suit the individual person.
So this is all one-on-one.
Yeah, it's all one-on-one. And that's important because it has to fit with, their belief systems,
Yeah.
what they feel will help them. Then in week 6, we do grounding. So we do like stress triggers, regulation, and we really look at the support, because I feel that the support system they have around them. So especially like partner work and things like that is really vitally important. And I know it's important because of how my marriage was broken and had to go through repair like before, during that time. And that's also why it took such a long time before I went through IVF as well, because everything was broken.
Yeah.
So we don't want to get to that stage. We want to make sure that we have those support systems, that we're communicating in a way that is supportive with your partner or whoever that might be, or a friend, whoever the support system is. Then we do week 7, we do like nurture. So we look at boundaries as well. So not just relationships.
Very
So we
important.
nurture boundaries are really, really important, because
Yeah.
we need to put those in place, because sometimes people can't understand. So you've got to put those boundaries.
Yeah.
And week 8, we do alignment plan, and we do like a future vision as well. And the alignment plan is individualized for that person as well. So
Amazing.
by week 8, they've already got like a flow through of what they're doing, and they see the shifts.
Yes,
So they
the
see the
transformation.
along the way. So that's
And
basically the 8
I have to
weeks.
say, she's pretty much giving this away for
Yeah.
free. This is an incredible opportunity for whoever's listening, because if you want to take it from there and tell them this
So
insane opportunity that people can have.
So I basically want to offer it to a select number of people, obviously, that I can cater for, because it is a one-to-one program, and I'm offering it for $200, because obviously I'm.
So this is
putting
8
it out
one-on-one
there.
calls,
Yeah,
by the way, you guys.
This
It's
is
insane amount of
individualized,
information.
but they also have like people. I want to do it as the program should be. So it's 8, like the first week and the last week is more than an hour, because the first week we're discovering and talking and working out what the person, how they want to go along with the program. So that's probably an hour and a half. And the last week, because we're doing an alignment plan, would be an hour and a half to 2 hours. And then the other weeks, it's an hour one-on-one coaching. And also they get a journal. So there's a journal that they can use alongside the program. And at the end, we build things as well, that they get something at the end that they can go away with, which is not just their alignment plan, but also something built in that will support whatever journey they go on. While we do the 8 weeks program, if they have questions or they want to reach out, we also have that possibility of asking questions or being able to. So it's not just one-on-one, but I want it to be like they feel supported all the way through the 8 weeks.
Such an incredible gift. Amazing. And I'm going to be putting in an application in the episode notes for anybody who wants to apply. I highly recommend you take advantage of this, because I don't know that like anything like this is available out there.
Thank you, Michelle. I totally believe in the program, and I really believe that someone starting the program, wherever they're at in their fertility journey, are going to come out feeling stronger, feeling more calm, feeling they have strategies and tools to move forward, and also feeling that a different mindset in how they're going to approach that, but also will have developed like skills for partner relationships and also boundaries. So that's, I think, really important as well. So yes,
Amazing,
I'm excited
Margaret.
to have anyone on board so that I can make those changes for them.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So, Margaret, I am so excited we finally got you on here. And I just really I really adore you. You're just such a sweet person. I'm so happy I met you. And I'm
Oh,
so happy to finally have you on the podcast. So thank you so much, Margaret, for coming on today.
thank you, Michelle. Honestly, sincerely from the bottom of my heart, thank you for allowing me to get this message across to your listeners. And I absolutely adore you too, as you know.
Awesome. Thank you so much.